Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is story time. I have such an interesting story about lost paintings, theft possibly, and a glorious, wonderful, miraculous recovery. So grab your coffee and join me for this short but really fun story. Yesterday, after I finished filming my video for you guys, I got the most random phone call. But let me start at the beginning. I often ship large paintings across the country, across the world. I use freight companies. I have a shipper, and I use a company called freightcom.com as the broker. They're great. What you do is you put in your package information and it comes up with the best value. So I had used a specific company, and ask me in the comments if you want to know who it is. If you follow me on Instagram, I already outed them, but so I'm not necessarily feeling like I need to out them here today on YouTube, but I may if it doesn't work out. But I sent a very large painting to one of my galleries. So what happened was the gallery had checked out my website, seen a piece that was on my originals available, had a customer who loved it, and asked me if I would send it their way. Absolutely. I packaged that up and we sent it with this shipping company across the country. And it didn't arrive. It didn't arrive. We kept checking the tagging, the tracking. It says arrived in Calgary many times over. Finally, I got on the phone after waiting about an hour. I got an answer and they said, well, the paperwork has arrived, but there's no sight of the package. The package was lost for about a week, and they sent me, they said that they would do a main search. And then 5 days later, they said, oops, we can't find it. We're closing this case. After being on the phone with their representative, who said that they would do a search for 2 weeks, the minimum 2-week search for this, looking hands-on, actually in those yards, looking on all the docks for my 3 by 5 foot piece. It's not a little piece. So they called me. They said, sorry. They didn't call me. They sent me an email. The case is closed. Sorry for the inconvenience. That is how they kept signing off. Sorry for the inconvenience. This was a $7,500 piece original painting. I phoned them back. I said, there's no way. Open it again. Find my piece. There's no way that you're closing it after 5 days. You told me your policy is to search for 2 weeks. Open it again. I don't know if they did or if they just gave me lip service. They said that they would get back to me. No one got back to me. I have spent hours on the phone. Finally, they said, no, we can't find it. You're going to have to make a claim. Now, here's the interesting part about original art. Unless you have your own personal insurance, which I do, and I was going to go through that personal insurance for the loss, you are not covered under any freight company, any company, UPS, Purelator. They have a sub clause that does not allow you to claim original art as damaged, or they're not responsible for it. So it's a problem, and it's a risk that a lot of artists take, and a lot of artists have been burned. And this is not an uncommon story. That's not the part of the story that is so wild. It's the very frustrating part. It is the part that makes your blood boil. How can they lose a 3 by 5 foot painting? And packaged, it's even bigger. It's at least this big, this thick, six or so inches thick. It's got my name all over it. Like, how do you lose a package like that? So I was, I don't even know the word. I gave into the fact that it was lost. I'm not going to get it back. It's not going to arrive at the gallery. The gallery has its own insurance, and he even offered Hambleton Galleries in Kelowna, wonderful, wonderful gallery. He even offered to say, hey, I have insurance too. We can get this covered. We can, maybe repaint the painting. I went on holidays. I came back, and then I thought I'll have time now to sit down and do the insurance claim, all of those things. So I was back in the studio on Monday, and I did the video that you saw yesterday. Today is May 15th. May 14th, I did a video. I just finished filming your video and I got a phone call. And I answered the phone, and there was a lovely lady from New Brunswick on the phone. And she said, hello, you're a hard person to track down. And I'm like, okay. Why? And she said, well, I had to figure out your name from your signature on a painting that I just acquired. And I was like, okay, that sounds interesting, because, I sell all my work through galleries. I sell it online. How could you acquire a painting where you didn't know who the artist was? And she said, well, I just acquired it on auction. I'm like, on auction? And I do donate paintings to auctions, and I, for fundraisers and things like that. So I thought, well, okay, and recently there had been the Dundas Valley School of Art. Where are you from? I'm from New Brunswick. I'm like, you got a painting of mine on auction in New Brunswick? Yes, I bought it through an auction company. And I'm not going to say the auction company because they did nothing wrong in here. And I said, an auction company in New Brunswick? And then she explained to me what the auction company was. She even while we were on the phone, I looked up. She sent me to the auction site. She said, here's where you can find what painting I'm talking about. Because she had received the painting. She had won it on auction. She had looked at it, and apparently I had forgotten to title it and to put the title on the back of the painting. I was so excited to ship it to Hambleton Galleries that I hadn't titled it. So she had simply was phoning me because she had this original piece of art with no title and wanted to know the name. So as we looked through the internet and she guided me through the site, I found the lot number, and sure enough, it was my lost 3-foot by 5-foot painting. That is a value of $7,500. I asked her, what did you pay for this painting? And she told me, I paid $92.50. I won it on auction. And I had to break the news to her that this had been destined for Kelowna, that this was my painting that honestly had been lost and I feel stolen by the shipping company and sold to an auction house. I got off she was so sweet. Let me tell you, she was like, oh no, am I going to lose this painting? And I said, only if you're willing to do the right thing. It was a painting that was lost. It's not a painting that I agreed to sell to the auction house. It's not a painting that I agreed to sell for $92.50. And she's an East Coaster. She said, well, I kind of wish, she was honest, I kind of wish I didn't call. I'm just so nosy. Now I'm going to lose the painting. But I feel better that you're getting something back that you had been desperate to find. And I told her how desperate, how angry, how frustrating, and the length that I had gone to on the phone for hours and hours waiting to find this painting with the company. So I phoned the auction company after I got off the phone with her. And I asked her, but before that, I asked her if I can arrange for it to be picked up. She has no way to package it. Like, how am I going to do this from New Brunswick? I can't fly to New Brunswick to get this painting. I phoned the auction company. I said, how did you acquire this painting? And he said, well, it was in a trailer and we bought the trailer from the shipping company. In fact, we bought six trailers full of lost merchandise from the shipping company. And then they simply unbox. They don't know what's in the trailers. They unbox, they take photographs, they put them up as lots. This is their business model. He agreed that it's a very strange situation, but they're in New Brunswick. It's a small community and they all kind of know each other. And he said, oh, I would help you, get that boxed if you need help. If she needs to bring it back here, we can figure out how to get that to the right place. Already absolutely lovely people. So I now know where my painting is. I have to figure out now how to get it from this lady's house, how to get it boxed, and how to ship it again. But I'm not done. I am not done with that. So I phoned FreightCom, who is the awesome broker that I use, and they were flabbergasted. They had never heard of this before. And in talking to them since, they're like, this went all the way up to the president of FreightCom, this story that, that the shipping company had sold my work after only 2 months of being lost to an auction company. So they said that they were gonna get on it. But I'm like a dog with a bone, guys. I got on the phone with the company and I went through 3 managers. Finally, I got to someone who then decided to tell me that I needed to talk to FreightCom because, they're the broker. They're going to have to take responsibility. And I said, no, you're not going to throw me back to FreightCom who did their job when you took my painting and sold it to an auction house. She said, well, I didn't do. And I'm like, don't even go there. You represent a company. I've gone through 3 people already. You apparently are the manager to talk to. You sold my painting to an auctioneer. And I said, so I need to know what you're going to do about it. She says, well, I see in the email that you're getting it back. What would you like us to do? And I was flabbergasted at that one. So I said, I need you to figure out how to get that painting from that lady, how to wrap it properly, how to ship it to the correct place. And at this point, I feel like it's their responsibility and that they need to get this done. She said, well, I'm going to have to phone, yet another supervisor. And I said, well, I don't really want to get off the phone with you, but I will do that. And I will be contacting my lawyer. And just so you know, I have a very large following on social media, on Instagram. If you haven't seen my Instagram, go over there, shameless plug, and follow me over there. And I said, I'm building a YouTube channel and I'm going to be discussing this, across social media. Within 10 minutes, I got a phone call from a lovely East Coast man who works for the company who was flabbergasted at the whole situation. And he promised to have the painting picked up. He was going to arrange it, have it boxed, have it delivered to the original person, Hambleton Galleries. And then he said, is there anything else? And I said, yeah, this lady should get a painting from me. And I'm going to need you to pay for that. I'm going to need you to pay for the shipping and for my time that it has taken me to deal with this. And he agreed to it all. So at this point, my painting has been picked up, it's being packaged, and I hope by the end of next week, it is at Hambleton Galleries in Kelowna, BC. But is that not the wildest story? This lady was just curious about the name of the painting that she had bought off an auction for $92.50. So I'm gonna paint her another painting, a little painting. I'm gonna send it to her as a thank you. On Instagram, I had made a reel and I had one lady suggest we should all send her thank you cards. And I thought, I may do that, but I'm not giving out her address, obviously. I may announce on Instagram, if you are an artist and you want to send this lady your appreciation, send me the card and I'll put it all in a package. I think that would be really fun to do. But she was so lovely. When I phoned her back to tell her, okay, here's what's going on. I've gotten a hold of this person. He's going to be calling you. blah, blah, blah. She was like, have you been to New Brunswick? You should come and paint here. It's beautiful. And I got an invitation to New Brunswick. And everyone has been saying how amazing people from the East Coast are. And honestly, guys, I'm feeling like I'm in an episode from the Come From Away, you know, the Gander situation from 911, when all these people just picked up and solved the situation. I know it's not as dramatic. It's not 911. It's just a lost painting, but it's my work, and they sold my work unauthorized. I feel like a little bit like it's theft, but I'd love to hear and have a conversation with you about this. I'd love you to go over and see all the comments. It's been wild on Instagram. You'll see my reel over there, Veenstra Artist. And well, I'm going to get to work now. I'm going to paint some new paintings today to start some new paintings for my summer shows. I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the story. And we'll see you in the next video.